Hi, everybody. Put in my pods. Oh my God, I was running. Running. Bonjour tout le monde. Hello. Buenos dias. Just getting my desk cleared off. I was exercising. Oh my God, my hair looks crazy. Y'all, I'm so excited for this conversation with Ariana. I am going to invite her. Oh my gosh, so many of you guys. I look crazy. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I'm sure Ariana has it more together than I do right now. Bonjour tout le monde in France. Buenos dias, Argentina. All right, let me go grab. There you. Oh, it says unable to join. Oh, there we go. Waiting for Ariana. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm so good, Mama. How are you?
I'm good. You're on the East Coast.
I am. It's a solid 2 o'clock, and it feels like the sun is going down. Very strange.
Oh my God, I just tweeted 1 o'clock for East Coast. It's 2 o'clock your time.
It's okay.
Jess, you got to retweet that we're on now. Okay. How are you? Oh my God, are you so busy? Are you just so busy?
It's good. I mean, this is my first foray into all of this, releasing a movie it's very different than like premiering a Broadway show. This
I
is
know.
a marathon.
This is crazy. Well, okay, I got to rewind because I've been fangirling over you for a while. I mean,
Aw.
your talent does not start with The Prom that's premiering tonight on Netflix, by the way, everybody, just so you know, it's premiering tonight. But you've done so much because I love when people always assume like you're an overnight star.
Right. Right. It definitely makes me giggle.
Yeah, you're like, bitch, I've been working at this my whole life. But I want, for everybody who doesn't know, Ariana DeBose is Boricua, right?
Mhm.
Is that, do you
Puerto
identify
Rican, yeah.
Puerto
Yeah.
Riqueña? And
Hmm.
you grew up in New York?
No, I grew up in North Carolina.
Oh my
So I'm actually
gosh.
like real Southern. It's a very odd trail mix that I have going on.
Tell us about how you grew up.
Yeah, so I was raised by my mom. She's a school teacher. She raised me as a single parent. And my mom is white, my father's Puerto Rican.
Hmm.
So it was actually really interesting growing up because I I had a very, very loving community, but I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily initially have access to my culture and how I identify now. So this journey of identity has it's come a long way in a short amount of time. But I credit like my first experiences with the Hispanic culture. I was lucky enough to discover this Puerto Rican family at my dance studio, the Rosarios. And they were my first like introduction into what it looks like to be Puerto Rican. And I was like, oh my God, there I am. There I am.
Oh.
Um, it was really, really amazing. And then moving to New York and doing the
Mhm.
Broadway thing, which I've been doing for a decade, like you mentioned.
You've been at it
Uh,
a minute. You've been
it's
at it
been,
a minute. But wait, did you always
yeah.
dance? Did you always sing and dance since you were little?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Uh,
well, I've always danced. I thought I was gonna be Madonna's backup dancer. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. Of course,
That
yeah, yeah.
that was the
I thought I
goal.
was going to be a dancer for Menudo.
Okay. See? I
But they
mean,
only
I
allowed boys. They only allowed boys. And I was like,
very irritating. I don't understand. Why aren't we equal opportunity over here? I mean, and then when I think I was like 9 when I really discovered the magic of J-Lo. You know what I mean? As a
yeah,
young girl, I was like,
yeah,
okay,
I get
let's
it. Hmm.
let's like hit the step. Um, but it was really, really great. I mean, I've have such a my background has allowed me such an opportunity to see multiple sides of any
Right,
story, right?
right, right.
Identifying in so many different ways, but feeling very strong like in my humanity. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's the whole
I,
thing.
I agree with you because especially this election year, it's caused so much division and
Yeah.
has forced us to be like, I'm Latino, I'm a woman because of issues that we care about. But at the end of the
Right.
day, I mean, I can't say it enough. We're all humans. And then if you think about our country, we're all Americans. And so it's
Right.
like we have way more in common than we have differences. And you know, people always talk about the Latino community being monolithic. And of course we're not
Right.
monolithic,
We're
but
not.
we are united
Yes.
in culture, in food, in music, even
Hmm.
though all that's different, even though there's salsa, merengue, and mariachi, and banda, and ranchera, like even though it's
Hmm.
different, we all, our culture appreciates those things, and I think like it's good to celebrate it as opposed to divide it and
Yeah.
live in that division. So it's so interesting. I want to have like a whole hour conversation about navigating identity, and
Oof.
you growing up in North Carolina. That is so
Homie.
fascinating to me.
It was a fascinating experience, and you know there are so many different things. Like I loved growing up in the South. It was great for me, but I I will say I experienced a lot of, oh, well, you know, you have a white family, you're not like everybody else.
Yeah,
And I was like, but I am. But
yeah,
like, why? There's no difference in how, or there should be no difference in how you treat me and how you treat
yeah,
a fellow Latino or an African American or just anybody. Like, what?
yeah,
No, that was
yeah,
never really my jam.
yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, we could have that combo.
you went to I know, but you went, so when you moved to New York, you went with the desire to be a Broadway star.
I did. I did.
Yeah,
I mean, I took whatever avenue in I could find, and ultimately that was being a dancer first.
yeah,
So I got my first job dancing with Andy Blankenbuehler and Bring It On the musical, and
yeah.
Lin-Manuel wrote the music for that along with Tom Kitt, and so it was that just the whole journey
Yeah,
of like learning how do you make a musical? Because here I was very confident in my abilities, but I actually knew nothing about what it
yeah.
took to make a musical.
Right,
Um,
right. But
so I learned on the
but
job.
that's the first step, right? Being
Yeah,
secure and like I got something to offer, and then you're like,
right.
so what are we doing?
What we doing? Like, how do we do it? Okay, cool, cool. What you need? 14 to
Cool,
14?
cool.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
and that whole Broadway audition circuit is
Yeah.
mind blowing to me. I can't sing or dance, so I have so much
Are you
appreciation
sure? I
for
mean, Carrie busting out some vocal stylings,
oh,
Ava.
Carrie. Let me tell you, Carrie has many hidden talents.
Yes, she
one
does.
of them is being the greatest. This is not hidden, just one of the greatest human beings to be around. She called,
Yeah.
just for y'all to know who are paying attention. She called me and she's like, "You need to bring Ariana into your girl squad, your power squad. She needs to
I
be
love
with
it.
you guys." She's just like your biggest cheerleader. She goes, "I play her
Yeah.
mom in the movie," and it was interesting how she said that because she didn't say Ariana plays my daughter. She goes, I play her mom. This is, you
Right.
know, this is all about, and it's beautiful how she positions you. And I mean, your talent is beyond. I mean, you are. If people don't know you now, they will know you very quickly, just because you're so talented. And it's funny that you said, you know, you when you finally saw like the first Puerto Rican family, and you were like, oh, okay, that's what it means. That
Mm.
when I wasn't, I never paid attention to Broadway or musicals or theater because we didn't have access to that
Right.
growing up, right? And
Yeah.
the first time I go, oh, was in the Heights, right?
Ah.
And
Hmm.
I was like, oh, so wait, Broadway can look like this, and and a lot of people were like, oh
Right.
no, Broadway doesn't usually look like this.
Like this could be like the one. And that is something we've been dealing with. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really believe we should have just one. I think
Hmm.
we should always have a seat at the
Hmm.
table.
Yeah.
You know, and we've made some strides in that area, but you know, long way to go.
Yeah, long
But
way to
yeah,
go. But then you
very
did
cool.
Hamilton, which was
Yeah.
awesome, right?
It was
Um,
cool.
I
Crazy
mean,
town. Well,
crazy
I
town.
mean, it was crazy town. I mean, it was really, really hard show physically, but also just like the context of it and the conversations we were allowed to have within it.
Yeah,
And then with that, when the film came out on Disney Plus back in July, like opened up a whole new world of conversation at a really necessary time.
yeah,
You know, and I really think, you know, it shows the power of theater, shows the power of the arts to inform our everyday lives and
yeah.
how we process healing and trauma, historical
Hmm.
trauma. It's been really, really fascinating to see the reactions.
Yeah.
And how it just like it's still a topic of conversation. We will be talking about Hamilton for the next decade.
Yeah.
It's
Which,
awesome.
I mean, that's the magic of Lin-Manuel and the genius of him. I
Yes.
mean, like I said, I mean, I can't wait for In the Heights to come out. I cannot wait
Oh,
for it to come out, the movie. I mean,
holy
I know.
Anthony Ramos. Oh my God.
I
The
know.
world isn't ready, and
The
I'm
world
really
isn't ready.
proud. I'm proud of them taking, I know it's been a journey to get that movie made, but
Hmm.
like, good things come to those who wait, and it'll be so nice to
Yeah.
have two films with
Yeah.
massive Latinx representation out
Yeah.
in one year. It's
It's
gonna be
going to
great.
be so amazing. Okay, I do want to talk about the prom, but I just want to dip my toe into West Side Story. How was that?
Okay.
Can we just talk? I mean, I know, because wait, when is it out? Not till next year?
Not till next year, December 10. So like a
But
solid year
but you already
from
shot it.
now.
But you already
Yes.
shot it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, just actually, you don't talk about the movie, but just the when that opportunity came up and you were like, I mean, you must have grown up with West Side Story as well, no? Especially Anita, and especially,
Yeah.
the Puerto Rican ties, and like, what did it mean to you just hearing like, oh, they're gonna do the movie? Were you like, ah?
Oh, absolutely. I was so excited they were gonna reimagine it because when I hear Tony Kushner and Steven Spielberg, I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna be epic.
Right?
But I never actually thought I would be a part of it. You know, at the time I was like, oh, well, we'll find someone who looks like Rita Moreno. Like she did it. We don't need to like reinvent the wheel here. And then when they asked me to come in and audition, it blew my mind, and I went in and just did my thing. I actually told Steven I wouldn't read for him, which is probably why he hired me because it's a very Anita thing to do. Um, but every turn, every opportunity that we got to talk about the material, I realized I was like, oh, I do have something to offer here. This
Hmm.
is a different representation of what it means to be Latina in 1957. Because, our queen, Rita Moreno, it's like
Yeah.
she did the thing, but we don't often see Latina stories
Yeah.
told with a slightly darker face in that particular time period.
Yeah.
And I was really intrigued by that. And I was just
Yeah.
really glad that they were all open to it. It was
Yeah.
great.
Well, and everybody forgets who played her on Broadway, who played Anita on Broadway.
Chita Rivera.
Chita Rivera. And so it's so crazy how that movie had come together at that time. And Chita Rivera and Rita Moreno. And like, I mean, there was one spot,
One.
in how many decades for a Latina on Broadway, and then a Latina as a lead in a movie. So I can't wait for that. I'm excited. I was like, oh my God, you've had a busy, busy year. Did you shoot prom after West Side Story?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God. Tell me, how did prom come about? Because it's such a beautiful film. Tell everybody what the film's about and who you play.
Yeah. So the prom for everybody, and by the way, hi everyone. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate you. Um,
Uh,
so the prom, directed by Ryan Murphy for Netflix, is about a young girl named
mhm,
Emma, played by Joellen Pellman, who wants to take a girlfriend to the prom. I play her girlfriend, Alyssa, who is not quite out yet. Um, the PTA in their small town of Edgewater, Indiana, is not having it. So, cut
mhm.
to on the opening night of a Broadway musical, these five Broadway stars get panned and decide that they need to rehabilitate their, uh, what do you call it, reputations. So
Mhm.
they decide they're going to go to this small town and fix everything and throw this girl a prom. And, the story ensues. And it's really quite fabulous. It's a story of acceptance and tolerance
Wow.
and how we all can just celebrate each other. It's a huge
Yeah.
celebration of
Yeah.
humanity.
Yes, humanity. I did, just the trailer makes me go, oh, like it hit me in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
You guys under the bleachers, and oh, and then Carrie
Mm-hmm.
posted a clip of like her speaking to
Yeah.
you as her daughter, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I'm a huge Ryan Murphy fan. I mean, I don't know who isn't
Yeah.
a Ryan Murphy fan, but everything he does just has a very strong through line of social issues, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
movie's not about a prom. Movie's about something
Right.
deeper, thematically,
Right.
and that's what I
Yeah.
love about him. How was it working with Ryan?
He's incredible. He's a visionary. He's a shepherd of talent. You know, I thought I might walk into a line reading situation. Not at all. He just wants you to follow your instincts. And for an actor, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, like that's a
Yeah.
dream to work with
Mhm.
someone who really trusts you.
Yeah.
And that's Ryan.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
great.
just hire my, I direct more now than act. And
Hmm.
every time
I
I,
know. I'm like, I volunteer as tribute for anything you might need.
oh, honey, I hope I can direct you one day. Your
Okay.
list is your bar's a little high. You're like Steven Spielberg and Ryan Murphy, and then okay,
No, baby,
Eva
we
Longoria.
need you. We need you though. Serious.
you're you're very kind, but no, that's the point. Is like hiring people who are gonna bring their magic. I don't want to bring out your magic. I think that's the reason you hire those, as
Yeah.
certain actors is because of that. You
Yeah.
go, okay, yeah, yep. And I also think, I know they did a huge search for West Side Story,
Hmm.
and I always believe when it's your role, it's your role.
It, yeah.
It's just your
I do
role.
too. I do
And
too.
same thing with Hamilton, I'm sure. Same thing with
Yeah.
any big project that you go. I cannot see anybody else in that role. I mean, when I did Desperate Housewives,
Yeah.
and I remember, they saw everybody, and I was really not right for the role. I was
Mm.
27 at the time, and the role was for 40, and I was really not talented.
No,
I don't know.
what?
I mean,
She
like I
lies,
was
everyone. She
green. I was
lies.
green, and I was like,
Sure.
I'm never gonna get this. So fuck it. And here's the thing about Desperate Housewives, that kind of similar to your Steven Spielberg story, is that I had like 8 auditions that day. It was pilot season. I had 8 auditions, and it was the
Oh my
last one of the
God.
day. And I didn't read the script. I just learned my lines because I had to learn these lines. I had to learn. It was like I was in my car changing doctor.
Doing
Okay,
the
put in.
thing.
Yeah, and then I get to the next audition, and I'm like lawyer. Okay, briefcase, and all right, and then this, and then like Gabby was like this. I don't. I was like, okay, what do I? Okay, I put on
Yeah.
a leopard dress, skin
Yes,
tight
you
leopard
did.
dress, and I go, God, I hope I don't get pulled over. I look like a fucking hooker right now, and and I go in and I'm like, okay, okay. And then Mark Cherry goes, so what did you think of the script? And I go, what?
It was
And
great.
he go, yeah. And I was going to do that because I usually do. I'm like, oh my God, the thing in the end, and you just fake your way through it.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And I said, you know what? I didn't read the script. I read my part, and my part's amazing.
Good
And
for you.
I didn't read it. I was like, blah, 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 me, blah, 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 me. That's all I did in the script. And I didn't read it
Hmm.
because I didn't want him to ask me more questions. And he said later on in interviews, he said, I knew you were Gabby at that moment because it was the most selfish thing an actor could do.
But I'm so like that's what it is though. But also I'm so glad you got that job.
Oh,
Like seriously, you were fabulous in that show. Are
thank
you
you.
kidding?
Thank
Oh,
you. No, it was fun. It was fun, but
dream.
it was but Mark Cherry's a line reader. I mean, because he
Mm,
has a very specific
yeah.
rhythm to words, and
Right.
he's huge musical Broadway fan, huge
Hmm.
musical Broadway fan, and so he's like, no, 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 the line is da 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 da, right?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't
Yeah.
say the words; he would go ba 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 ba, and
The
he would always
rhythm.
do the rhythm of the line. And I was like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
got it. And so he has a very very specific rhythm. I'm actually
Yeah.
directing his show now, Why Women Kill, and because he started my directing
Great.
career, and I will always direct anything Mark does because he's a very
Great.
specific showrunner, and I just love working with
Great.
him. But I what is next? I mean, how's the
Okay.
pandemic been for you and your world over there?
Well, I mean, I feel kind of odd about it because the pandemic has oddly been good to me in the ways of work. And that's a
Yeah,
very strange sentence to say, you know?
yeah,
Um, I just got back from shooting a limited series for Apple TV called Schmigadoon. Um,
Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon. It's I know. It's a musicalized comedy starring Cecily Strong and Keegan Michael Key. Um,
Oh,
and it really is fantastic because it's totally musicalized, but it deals with real like tangible issues today. So
yeah.
that's great. Um, but I do have something else in the works. Can't quite talk about it yet, but I'm excited because it's not a musical. So that'll be nice
Oh,
to show people a different color.
yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, you are just so talented. I could watch you read, the phone book because it's just
Thank
you're. Do those exist anymore? Did I just date myself? Phone books?
the
But no,
white
you
pages. We
the
have
white
them.
pages. I could watch you read Yelp reviews.
Okay, and just for you, I think I might do it. I think I might do it. I'll tag you.
All right, thank you
You
so
love
much.
it.
What was your favorite musical growing up? Or ever?
Um,
Not growing up, just ever.
I mean, it's really hard to pick one.
Okay, give me a couple.
Um, I'm a big Chicago fan just because it's classic, it's sexy. I mean, unfortunately, greed, lust, and murder will never go out of style. I
Hey, it's
wish it
fun.
would,
Yeah.
but it is fun. I loved Aida because it was a woman
Oh,
of color standing on
yeah.
zero, singing her face off.
Yeah.
In the Heights because it was the first time I'd ever heard, our music on a
Yeah.
stage
That's la
on Broadway.
bandera. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Um, let's see. But I'm also a big like Jesus Christ Superstar
Mm-hmm.
fan because I'm a sucker for a rock concert and I really am. It's so bad. And
Yeah.
Sweet Charity in
Okay.
particular because you started with Gwen Verdon, you landed on Debbie Allen with
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that was really that I don't know. Oh no, did she freeze? John, hello. It might be you guys. Is it? Ah, where you at, girl? Who's frozen? I know, y'all, it's frozen for me too. I don't know. I don't know. Oh no. I don't remember